Steve Kerr. He says he's sticking with Steph, LeBron, and Embiid in the starting lineup. But when you look at the center rotation, Joel has been the least productive out of the group to this point. Now, we've talked about his health. We've talked about him not really playing on the world stage before and needing to sort of find a little bit of a balance with all of the rules here. It's no secret that he hasn't looked like himself, but Steve Kerr says, you know what? We are sticking with the former MVP. Do you think that's what's best for Team USA and for Joel here?
I do. I mean, look, Joel Embiid spaces the floor. He can hit a three. They have to guard him. They're not exactly playing through Joel Embiid like the Sixers do. That's why you're not seeing the plus-minus stats that he normally has. That's why you're not seeing the impact offensively that he normally has. They're not playing through him, but they still need him as a floor spacer. I mean, he's like the best offensive lineman ever with Steph Curry. I mean, the way he sets screens out there. I mean, the way LeBron's driving to the hoop and no one is within 10 feet of him because look at Embiid. Look. They got to respect him. He swings the ball. He's got an amazing basketball IQ. I spoke to him the other night. He said this is the most fun he's had in a really long time, just playing with these guys. But obviously, I mean, look, can Anthony Davis do that? Can Bam Adebayo do that?
Miss threes?
No, but stand out there on the three-point line and be a real threat.
Yeah. I didn't mean that to be disrespectfully. The B-roll that we're showing, obviously, is we're seeing him miss a bunch of shots. I do expect him to sort of settle in here, Zach.
Yeah, I do. And by the way, Bam Adebayo has been doing that. Bam hit a bunch of threes against Serbia yesterday. The Bam AD combination off the bench has been destroying teams. Anthony Davis is just inhaling shot after shot around the basket. These poor guys can't finish over him. But look, Joel Embiid was always going to be kind of a work in progress fitting in with how Team USA has typically played. And you have to invest in that. You have to invest time and you have to invest reps and you have to go through some hiccups to get the payoff in the end. So I understand why Steve Kerr is investing the time with Joel in the starting lineup. And look, overall, we can sit here and talk about the rotation and should this guy play with this guy. Through 3 exhibition games, Team USA is ahead of schedule. They look really, really good. Everybody is sharing the ball. The ball's moving. Yeah, there's some turnovers. We saw Joel Embiid throw the ball to a ref because he thought it was a player. There's been a little bit of that. That's chemistry stuff. But the ball's moving, and the offense does not look stilted or clunky. This team is playing really, really well for their 3rd game together.
Well, particularly that last game that we saw against Serbia, and wondering if, is Nikola Jokic going to pose a couple more problems, particularly as we've continued to talk about the interior presence here for Team USA. If they play like that, I don't know that it matters if I don't know that it matters. I still think that talent, if they're able to play that way, their best outing thus far, they still have that edge on the rest of the
It's just
world
the depth.
powers.
I mean, their second unit would start for every other team. There's nobody who can compete with the depth that the U.S. has on this supreme team, as our colleague Chene called them. I mean, you can quibble with who the 4th starter is or the 5th starters. It almost doesn't matter. If anything, having the second unit be as dominating as they have been has been the U.S.'s advantage so far.
Zach, what was your biggest takeaway from that win against Serbia?
Again, they look great generally. Anthony Edwards looks great. But Steph Curry, what a revelation to see him in this environment with this talent around him. He's setting ball screens for everybody. He's running pick and rolls with LeBron. You can't switch that because you're going to put a smaller guy on LeBron. Here he is, ball screening. He's setting screens. He's all over the place. And this FIBA 3 is such an easy shot for him. And it's just awesome to see him bending defenses at this level with this talent around him. I mean, there's been a couple times where he's just been spotting up, catch the ball in the corner. When it, Steph just standing still. It's so easy for him, and he's making it so easy for everybody else on the floor. It's been really, really fun to watch him in this environment so far.
Yeah, I mean, that tandem, LeBron James and Steph Curry.
We've waited 20 years for that.
Exactly. This is what fans have been waiting to see. We need to call on our NBA senior writer, Zach Lowe, to play a little too high or too low, as in Zach Lowe. You get it? Zach, I know you've been poring over your notes. You've been analyzing each and every transaction that has happened so far this summer. You have been scribbling down potential lineups. You have been writing down potential rotations. So now that we have the totals released, what team out west, let's start there, has a win total that just seems maybe a little too low?
Maybe it's nostalgia kicking in. Maybe I'm late to the party. But I'm watching Steph Curry run roughshod over every country that Team USA comes across right now. I liked what they did, the Warriors adding Kyle Anderson and Buddy Hield and DeAnthony Melton. This team won 46 games last year. If Steph is still Steph and Draymond can stay on the floor, I just 42.5. I'm not ready to go there yet. They're better than that, and that's even leaving aside the possibility that they make a big win now trade for someone like Lauri Markkanen. I think they're still a little better than just a ho-hum 500-ish outfit. So I think that's a hair too low.
Yeah, I'll go with you on that one too, Zach. I like the way they filled in the hole left by Klay Thompson. They kind of turned Klay Thompson into 3 really good players. And I think Kyle Anderson was sort of made to be a Warrior. Right? He just knows how to play in that kind of a system. I think he'd be a very good fit. D'Anthony Melton will help them defensively. And Buddy Hield, obviously. So I think the Warriors are a little low there. But let's see.
Is it just a hair?
Well, 42.5 is a game and a half over 500.
All right. So
right?
Zach, how about the East?
Cleveland at 47.5.
Okay.
Right there with Orlando and Indiana. I think Cleveland's going to have a big year. First of all, half the East stinks. So there's like 20 easy wins baked into playing in the Eastern Conference. And I think this team is young and ascendant, and a lot of things went wrong for them last year, including Darius Garland having a lot of health issues and Jared Allen toward the end too. I think there's a really good team in here somewhere. Another year of Max Strus, Karis LeVert coming off the bench, another year of cohesion for Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, and Allen. Mitchell's extension thing isn't hanging over anybody's head anymore. Okay. I think 47.5 is a little low. I could see them winning 50 this year.
Look at this. I know we talk about Zach as maybe grumpy Zach, the director of grumpiness, but today Zach Lowe is bringing all of the positivity. I really like this little
summertime Zach.
I like this little summertime Zach, the summertime change. It goes with the linen suit that I'm wearing.
He's almost in his vacation, so
Ramona,
he's excited.
If he's not going to go with the glass half empty approach, maybe I'm gonna ask you to take on that role for us today. Who do you think maybe has a win total that is a little too high?
In the East or the West?
Let's start with the East.
I mean, Zach, I know you're high on the Cavs here, but I actually think that's a little high. I'm on the other side of that one. I don't think they figured out if Darius Garland and can play together with Donovan Mitchell. I don't think they've figured out what they're going to do with Mobley and Jared Allen. I don't know if that might change. As the season goes on, they might make a trade.
So what about West?
I think I have to go with the Clippers. They've made a lot of changes, none of them necessarily earth-shaking. I think they're going to be a nice competitive team, but in the West, when you just have a competitive team, I think they're right in there at 40 wins from what I saw on the list. Might be a little under that, even though they don't have their pick, but it's a big load to ask Kawhi and James Harden to carry when they're both in their mid-30s.
Zach, do you care to be the director of grumpiness today, or are you leaving all of that to Ramona?
I know, how did I get this role?
I'll leave it to Ramona, but look, we can make a bet on the Cavs, 47.5 on ESPN Bet. We can make a little dinner bet in Los Angeles. Maybe you can order a nice meal for me at the Shelburne Estate, and I can come over and enjoy a free meal when the Cavs win over 47.5. Is that all right?
Yeah,
can we do that?
Some burgers. Okay. Deal. The next 2 words is bet. So if history tells us anything, I have one more for us. It's that when you see the Lakers win total, it is usually too high. That's not me talking. That is history. The purple and gold, they have hit the under for the last 5 seasons. Last year, their total was 47.5. They finished with 47 wins. So just a hair that Richard doesn't have under. Look at this now. The number is 44.5. Zach, how do you feel about that number for LA?
I feel perfectly fine, Malika. That's a perfectly fine number for a perfectly fine NBA team. That's probably not any better than perfectly fine, but I'm in a good mood. I'm going to say the Lakers go over, maybe by a game or 2, and that's it. 45-46 wins, but this line is bang on. Nobody wants to hear it because they're the Lakers, but this is what the Lakers are. This is where their line belongs. They're a nice Western Conference team.
They won 47 last year. So going a game or 2 over is not a huge. It's not hard to walk out on that ledge right there, Dak. I think that's exactly where they'll be. And they didn't really do much in the offseason except change their coach and draft Dalton Connect and Bronny James. So I think that's about where they should be. I mean,
I'm just enjoying sunny Zach today.
I don't know what to do. I'm shook.
I don't know what if he had a little beverage before the show or what's going on, but I'm very much enjoying this.
I'm on fire. It's 88 over here.